Hi, my name is Barbara Sekely. I'm a financial advisor with Waddell & Reed, and more importantly, I'm your immediate past president for the Cabba board. I have been on the board for the last 5 years. I've had a fantastic opportunity to work with a great group of leaders within the Carrollwood Area Business Association. We are here today to meet the candidates for the new board 2020-2021. They have all taken the time to come out and be interviewed. You'll get the opportunity to meet each and every one of them and get to know them a little bit more today. We have a guest moderator who really needs no introduction. He has been a founding member. Cabba was founded in 1986, and he has been a member ever since. He is a Cabba Club member, which means he was a president in 2000 to 2001. He is a Hall of Famer. He really needs no introduction, but Dr. Barry Shapiro is going to be here to be our moderator and tell us a little bit more about the Cabba story. So we want to welcome him, and we thank you all for your time while you watch and learn a little bit more about the candidates for the board.
Well, thank you, Barbara, and thank you, Cabba, and our video people today. Thank you very much, and thank you, candidates, for being here and willing to step up. We are in a very interesting time in our lives in the whole world. And I want to reflect back on how Cabba started and tell you that a lot of the same reasons that we started in 1986 are some of the same things that the board members and officers will be dealing with now. As you know, a lot of businesses were forced to close down because of what's going on with the virus around the world. It has put a lot of stress on people's businesses and people's lives. And it's a really important time for us to work together as an organization. Now, back in 1985, there was a meeting called by a fellow named John Bauman, who was a CPA. His office was on Del Mabry, where the CVS building is now. Prior to this phone call that I received, there was a widening of Waters Avenue that was done by the DOT. And at that time, DOT did not contact any of the businesses. They did not warn any of the businesses. In fact, they closed off the driveways of many of the businesses on Waters Avenue and put a lot of businesses out of business. It was a terrible thing that happened. It was inadvertent, I'm sure. But John had a vision back then that if we coalesced as a group of business owners in Carrollwood — by the way, there weren't a whole lot of business owners in Carrollwood back in 1985 — he thought it would be good if we met together and organized the meeting with DOT to see if we can make a little change, because they were about to widen Del Mabry. Now, to take you back a little further, I opened my chiropractic practice in 1979. There were no lights from Bush Boulevard to 54 on Del Mabry back then. So those of you who weren't born at the time or weren't here at the time, it was a very interesting time to be in Carrollwood, because it was 55 miles an hour right up to 54, no lights. So a few years later, I had my practice moving along, and I get a call from John, and we met at his office, and we all were aware of what happened with DOT on Waters Avenue, and we thought maybe if we meet with the county and we meet with DOT, we can stop that from happening to us, where we would be shut out of business. So we did meet with them, and they were really great to work with. What we told them was, if we have one driveway for our business, you can't close it until after business. So you could close the driveway at 6 p.m., open back up at 6 a.m., and do whatever you need to in the meantime. If there were two driveways into the business, you could close one, but you couldn't close both, which are the things that they did on Waters Avenue. So we met with them. They were very receptive. They were very apologetic about what had happened with Waters Avenue. We were able to work with them in a way that Del Mabry was one of the first major projects in the state that was done with floodlights at night. There was a lot of the work that was done at night. However, you can imagine the road was torn up quite a bit anyway, and it had an effect on the businesses that were here. But what we decided to do while this was going on was we kept meeting. We not only met to inform DOT, but we kept meeting to work with each other to try to get each other through this difficult time that we were all having. And as the months went on that we kept meeting, then John said, well, maybe we ought to just keep this going and make a networking organization. And 16 of us at the time formed the Carrollwood Area Business Association. It was a very neat thing that I was allowed to be a participant in that when it started. I don't know if I'm happy or sad to let you know that I'm the only founding member still in Cabba. For one reason or another, we've lost a few. But Cabba has been a wonderful organization. Those of you who've been in it long enough to know what it can do for you personally, for your business, for the community, because it was our idea that we would be more than just networking. We were interested in making sure that people succeeded personally and professionally. And the goal was to not just do business with each other, but to expose our clientele to the other businesses. So if you had a accounting business, everybody needs an accountant. So whether they want to use a particular accountant or not, if I have 500 patients in my caseload and I can let 500 people know that this is the accountant that I'm dealing with and he's a member of the Carrollwood Business Association, that's a wonderful way to expose your business to a lot of other business. So as you start thinking about getting on the board, if you haven't already been on the board, I want you to understand that one of your jobs as an officer of this organization is to promote the other businesses within Cabba, because when you are able to help succeed other businesses, that's really good for your business too. So I know when we go to a networking event, we're trying to network about our own individual business, but it's very important for you to expose your people to other people's businesses. So since I was fortunate enough to retire back in March after 41 years in practice, I'll say this as if I'm still in practice. Everybody needs a chiropractor. So you know lots of people, and by the way, on an x-ray, everybody looks the same to me. So a lot of things are going on in the world today, but I want to let you know, you all look the same on an x-ray. So keep that in mind as you go about your daily routine. But what you should be thinking about if you use a chiropractor is to encourage other people to come to my office to use those services, because there's no reason for that person to be suffering. They may not know what a chiropractor can do for them, and it's a great opportunity. So I'm purposely not picking on one of your businesses because I don't want to throw too much power to one individual. I'm throwing it to all of you. All of you have a business that other members of Cabba can profit by. All of you have a business that those businesses' clientele can profit by. And I want you to keep that in mind as we go through. And as you get onto the board and serve, keep that in mind as you work to support other businesses, because there's nothing that you can do better than supporting one of your fellow businesses in this organization. And as I told Barbara just before the meeting started, one of the lines I learned when I was back in school, a candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. So share your knowledge, share your business, but share your customers too, and you'll make things go a lot better. So we're going to go with a bunch of different questions. I want you to stay relaxed. You all have some of these questions in advance. I may ad-lib just a little bit, as I've been known to do.
I'm Paul Miklo from Amerikey Locksmith, and I am running for secretary position.
My name's Jeff Ryder with Carrollwood Copy Center and Printing, and I am running for a director position.
My name is Danielle Castillo with Tampa Bay Realty and Investment Group, and I'm running for president-elect.
My name is Misty Caber. I'm with Edward Jones, and I'm running for secretary.
My name is Joshua Soto. I'm with the American Cancer Society. I'm running for director.
Hi, I'm Christopher Lejean with Bezier and Lejean CPAs. I'm running for treasurer.
Hi, Kabba. I'm Quint Bodine with Heartland Payroll, and I'm running for director.
Save the best for last. Roland Jean Charles, PMI JCM Realty Group, where we manage properties from an asset management perspective. I'm running for a director position.
I'm going to start with Danielle because I'm going to give the rest of you an idea of how easy it can be to answer a question. So Danielle, what events have you participated in as a member, sponsor, or host?
Well, when I first joined in 2017, we immediately dove in and did the Taste of Carrollwood as a premier sponsor. Ever since then, I have pretty much sponsored with Tampa Bay Realty and Investment Group every event, every golf tournament, every TOC, Taste of Carrollwood, every holiday lighting, every trunk or treat. So we have been very active with Cabba and sponsored and also co-host a lot of events as well over the past 3 years.
See, it's going to be that easy the whole rest of the way. All right, Chris, suggest a way that Cabba can add benefits for its members.
All right, thank you. Cabba can add benefits to its members because Cabba, the organization, gives a lot of exposure to your business. So if you attend the weekly meetings, the ribbon cuttings, committee meetings, networking on the nines, and consistently, you keep going, you will notice something after enough time is put in. Just like anything, hard work is required. Cabba rocks.
So, Paul, what do you think makes a good board member for Cabba?
It's going to be somebody that's loyal, they're punctual, they're on time, trustworthy, professional, all the characteristics of, I feel, to running a business is how you should present yourself running an office.
Very good. Good answer. Quint, what do you think are the duties of a Cabba board member outside of their committee responsibilities?
Yep. Great question. So I think as a CABA board member, even as president, treasurer, you need to be accountable. And that continues even when you're not at CABA meetings. And as you said, definitely getting businesses that you partner with locally involved is one way to grow CABA. So growing CABA outside of the events is number one thing we can do.
That's very good, because remember, you're particularly as an officer or director, you are always representing Cabba wherever you are. Roland, a new member wants to get more involved in Cabba. Briefly, what do you suggest to them?
I tell them to attend the meetings, right? So attend the committee meetings, attend the events where we have the networking on the nines, attend the lunches, and just really ingratiate yourself into Cabba. Go onto the website, look at all the events that we're having, and start registering and attending those meetings. Those are the best ways I can tell them so they can get involved in Cabba.
Great. Jeff, what do you view as areas for improvement for Cabba?
Well, that's a great question. We change board seats every year, so it's tough. But I would consistency perhaps, and consistency with the way the benefits for the members, as well as consistency from an operational standpoint. I know it is tough because you're switching board seats, but overall, I would say consistency, keeping it consistent.
So, Joshua, what events have you participated in as a member, a sponsor, or a host?
Awesome. As a member, I joined back in September of 2019, and I got involved pretty quickly with Jennifer Jenkins and Danielle Castillo and the community outreach and special events committees. We went ahead and started the tree holiday party, the Taste of Carrollwood. ACS became the beneficiary. I've done the virtual meetings, the Cabba coffees, the after coffees, Cabba after 5. So I've been pretty involved since the very beginning.
And that's all since September of last year?
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay, let me find my question. Misty, yes. What do you plan to contribute to the board meeting discussions and board planning for the next year?
So what I plan on bringing is, again, different perspective from outside. If somebody's a new member, bringing in some outside perspective and opening up to anything out there that is that can improve the organization.
Danielle, why do you think the membership at large voted to extend all terms to at least 2 years?
Well, I think it's important to CABA to keep the consistency going, as Jeff mentioned earlier, because once you become on the board of directors, you kind of start to get into your groove and really realize your position. And it's nice to have that going in for another second year and a second term to keep that consistency going in that position.
Chris, where do you see this organization financially in 2 years? I'm changing the question a little. Where do you see this organization financially in 2 years?
In 2 years, I see this organization financially stable because this organization has been going on for over 30 years. It's going to take a lot we can overcome anything at this point because Cabba rocks.
Joshua, how are you going to balance your professional, personal, and Cabba commitments if you are elected?
Awesome. Thanks for the question. For me, it's a personal decision. A couple years ago, I decided to change my mindset. I went through a life-changing moment and dedicated my time to giving back to my community. I got involved with nonprofits, and Cabba was the next step outside of my comfort zone. So I've been able to balance it the past couple months more than I even imagined, being able to help get involved right away. So I think it's just prioritizing your priorities and just giving the best gift you can give to a commitment. It's time.
Jeff, how will you deal with conflict and or disagreement if and when it presents itself in board meetings?
Well, usually you discuss things, and I think that at the end of the day, the right decision has been made. So basically, get the facts, see what they, what the facts are, and I think it's been my experience serving on the Cabba board that typically, the right thing will prevail, the right thing will come out if you talk it out and talk it through, and as long as everybody is, all trying to stay on the same page, I think that'll be just fine.
So before I ask another question, I'd like to give you a little insight into what I think makes a good board meeting, and that's varying opinions. One of my favorite teachers at school was my philosophy teacher, who always asked us what our position was on a particular topic. And then as soon as we declared, he had us argue the other side. And it's very important for somebody to be in the meeting that's willing to argue the other side. Percy Lejean was our board member no. It was Percy's job always to argue the other side, because we didn't want to rubber stamp everything. We didn't want everybody to agree. We wanted to make sure that we understood what the other point of view might be. So if you have another point of view and you're on the board, don't be scared. Bring it up. Value your position. But once the board makes the decision, you hold hands, you agree, and that's the position you take. You don't come out of the board meeting denigrating somebody else's spot. You come out of the board meeting and say, this is what we decided as a board. And that's very important. So don't be scared in a board meeting to express yourself. Roland, what do you view as strengths of Cabba?
Well, I think one of the key strengths of Cabba is its longevity. I mean, you went through 9/11, Cabba's still here, so I think that's very important. I also think the community as well, right? And so I think building relationships and having the relationships within the Carrollwood community is one of the second greatest strength, other than the fact that Cabba's been around for almost as long as I've been alive.
Yeah, we've been around since 1986. So Quint, how are you going to balance your personal, professional, and Cabba commitments if you're elected?
Certainly, great question, sir. Right now I am attending a significant amount of Cabba meetings and just staying consistent. As I spoke with you earlier, at the beginning of Cabba, I wasn't as engaged as I wanted to be, and of course, you reap what you sow. So I am, have been a lot better at getting to meetings consistently for the past year, and it has shown in the connections I've made with Cabba and the group members. So it is always, difficult to balance everything. I don't have any kids yet, which makes it a little bit easier. Now, that is, a big concern for a lot of people, but I do have a healthy work-life balance, and I think adding Cabba to it will not, disrupt anything.
Very good. Danielle, President-elect position, moving into President. How will you respond to a situation where an idea or direction that you've presented to the board is not supported or accepted?
Yeah, I think that with Cabba, and that's what makes us so unique, is that we do have a variance of opinions, some strong, some level-headed. So I feel that I'm going to, bring to the table and take away with, we all are here to have a discussion, and the biggest part of why we're on the board is for supporting of our Cabba members and what's in their best interest. So if it's not a no this time, it's just not a no today, not for tomorrow.
That's right. That's very good. So I'm going to give each of you a minute to tell us why you're running for the board, what leadership skills or experience you have that you believe the Cabba membership will benefit from by having you on the board. So I'm not going in any particular order. I'm just going to go around the horn. So Roland?
So I'm running for the board because I feel like I can add value. I am currently on the board now, and I am currently the golf director. In my time as the golf director, I've learned a lot, and I envision somewhere that I want to take the Cabba golf directorship, right? And I want to include a lot more golf courses, and I want to I want to add more value to the golf courses from Cabba, and I want to add more value to Cabba with the golf courses. And so I have a vision that I want to execute. And so I think what value I add to Cabba is my visionary. I'm a visionary. I look at the future, and I try to execute on what I think can be here tomorrow, right? It may not be here today, but I want to work with the Cabba board and the Cabba membership to make it better for everyone tomorrow.
If you can figure out how to reduce our handicaps, you'll probably get a lot of votes for that. Okay, Quint, why are you running, and what leadership skills and experience do you have that you believe will help?
Ever since my first meeting with Cabba, you all have welcomed me with open arms. It has been like a family, this community has. We do have a strong community, strong business community, and I believe we can help that grow with more members and keep growing, everybody's business keep growing. I've been with Heartland Payroll now for about a year and a half. Before that, I was at Florida State University. I was the treasurer of the Florida State University lacrosse team. So I do have some leadership capabilities in that regard, working with, community-involved group. So I do have some leadership in that regard.
Very good. Chris, why are you running for the board, and what leadership skills and experience do you have that will help Cabba?
Thank you. So I've been in Cabba for 3 or 4 years now. I'm running for the board because I've been on the Gulf Committee, joined the Ambassador Committee. I think this is just the next best step to continue to stay involved. I have leadership skills. I'm the current president of the Carrollwood Kiwanis Club. I also attend other various networking organizations. So to just see it and be familiar with it and understand it and treat everyone with respect is important. And thanks again, Kabba rocks.
Joshua, why are you running for the board, and what leadership skills or experience do you have that will benefit Cabba?
Awesome. Thank you. For me, running for the board is to give back. When I started back in September, they gave everything in the world back to me, and it became a home away from home. I never thought twice coming to a Cabba meeting as a task. It was just a fun activity, and it just became a network, and it created friendships, and resources have been provided. For me, I have a very strategic and proactive mindset. So really being able to see what's next for Cabba, all that we're working on a project, what can happen next, and what's the future of Cabba.
Very good. Misty, why are you running for the board, and what leadership skills and experience do you have that will benefit the membership?
Why I'm running for the board is because I've been a member of Cabba since March, and before that, I attended a couple networking events and so forth. And ever since I've been involved with Cabba, it's like a family. And this is everybody has been just welcoming me with open arms, and this is a great way for me to give back to my community. What skills do I bring to the table? I've been past vice president of my alumni association. I'm a very strategic planner. I think strategically as well, and I think those are some skills that I can bring to Cabba. But for me, it's about giving back to my community and making things better.
Very good. I'm going to move over to Jeff. Jeff, why are you running for the board, and what leadership skills and experience do you have that will benefit the membership?
Well, Cabba's been very near and dear to me for the last 12 years when I joined. I've thoroughly enjoyed, my time. I've both personally and professionally. I really enjoy, watching the members, rally around huge events like the Taste of Carrollwood, the golf tournaments, the holiday after fives and stuff like that. So serving the members, it's like I say, I thoroughly have enjoyed that. 5 of those years I have served on the Cabba board, one of them which I was president. So, I'm eager to get back in there and help serve the members and, get into the nuts and bolts of Cabba. Contrary, it just doesn't run on its own. So I enjoyed that aspect of it as well. Experience, what would I bring to the table? The 5 years of board experience, I think. I'm not that far removed from it. So, like I said, I enjoy that part of it, and I think I bring experience to the table.
Very good. Paul, why are you running for the board, and what leadership skills and experience do you have that will benefit the membership?
I think eagles fly with eagles. I want to be surrounded by like-minded individuals, leaders of the community, who like to help small businesses grow together. And as far as experience-wise, I've owned businesses for 15 years. I've been successful, I've failed, but I have a lot of great business experiences that I'd like to share with my fellow team members, and hope Kabba grow. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Danielle, why are you running for the board, and what leadership skills or experience do you have that you believe will benefit the membership?
Well, being on the board for the last 2 years, I believe the next step for me is absolutely running for president-elect. And I have absolutely displayed the template of leadership, discipline, dedication, and commitment to Cabba and our Cabba members. From jumping in from April of 2017, immediately with Taste of Carrollwood, like I mentioned before, different events for Cabba, attending membership meetings as well, engaging with other Cabba members, and getting that great community feeling has made me keep going and wanting more and more from Cabba and wanting to exude with Cabba. And also with the philanthropy that we have done with Tampa Bay Realty and Investment Group, we have supported so many of our Cabba members, nonprofits, and with the Kiwanis as well. So that is why.
Very good. I'd like to take a moment to speak to the membership about the people who have stepped up to run. It is a very big commitment for these people to not only run for office, but if and when they get elected to office, it is a lot of time and energy, and it does take away from their business. And as Cabba members, I want you to really thank them for stepping up to run. I want you to support them if they get elected. I want you to volunteer to help them out on their committees. And I want you to consider running yourself, because we need good people to run a good organization for the betterment of all the businesses. And we'd like to thank Macaroni Grill for hosting us today in this difficult time. We were able to take over their bar area to be able to hold this meeting so we could socially distance, and we were able to give everybody their own microphones so that we didn't have to pass anything around that we didn't want to. So thank you to Macaroni Grill for allowing us this time. And now I'm going to talk to you folks a little bit. You do get a lot of exposure. You don't have to hype your business so much because you are promoted a lot just by being an officer or a board member. And specifically for all of you, from a personal standpoint, from the heart, I've been there. I've held these offices. I've run for these offices. I've been on these committees. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of commitment. It takes a lot away from your personal life because things are going to come up that you're going to get called to do. I want to thank you on behalf of the entire organization for your willingness to step up, for your willingness to have the right heart, to do the right thing, and to look out for this organization that has been such a big part of my life for the last 35 years. And Cabba has grown, Carrollwood has grown, and you all are growing and will continue to grow. And I want to thank you, whether you get elected this time or not. Thank you for stepping up to run. If you get elected, thank you for the time and energy you're going to put in. If you don't get elected, please run again and support those people who do get elected. Thank you so much for your effort, particularly at this difficult time of the world. We're going to get through it. We are getting through it. And it's a wonderful place to be, both personally and professionally. So, Cabba, thank you so much.